So I want to have a discussion with y'all about Jiren and what happened in Dragon Ball Super episode 130. Because I've seen a lot of people freak out over what Jiren did in that episode. Now, if you haven't seen the episode yet, I mean, obviously you have to go see it before watching this video, because this will have spoilers for one specific scene in the episode, and that is the scene where Jiren aims his ki blast at Goku's friends. I saw so many people upset at the character of Jiren because he's a pride trooper. He's supposed to stand for justice. He's not supposed to be a bad guy. He's supposed to be essentially a superhero. He's like a hybrid of like Batman and Superman in like their history and everything, you know, in a way, kind of in a way. And why would he do something so dastardly and so evil as to attack the bleachers? Right? Why would he do that? I wanted to talk about that. First and foremost, though, I would definitely let everybody know that I did a video called The Philosophy of Goku versus Jiren. This is a must-see video to understand kind of what's going on in Goku and Jiren's heads. I'm not just telling you this to plug my video. That's not what I'm doing, but I feel like some folks would have their questions answered a lot easier if they watch that video that I put out on Friday. We go into the Goku mental philosophy and background, comparing it to Jiren's. Now, I made that video obviously before the episode had aired, and when I made that video, I based it on all the evidence that we had, and I also based it on the interviews that had come out with the Dragon Ball Super staff. Now, what happened in the episode, pretty much the entire episode 130, cemented what was said in that video. But the thing with what Jiren did, right, I saw some folks misconstruing that as being something that it's not. There were people saying that Jiren was evil and that Jiren did like a, you know, that Jiren turned heel, to use a wrestling term, and that's not exactly what happened. So in the episode, they make it clear, like I said in the video, that Goku is fighting for not just himself, but also for his friends and for his universe. Jiren is not like that. And there's a scene in the episode where Jiren is pretty much losing his mind because he never thought that mastered Ultra Instinct Goku would put up this much of a fight against him. He never thought that Jiren would actually, like, Jiren never thought he'd be challenged quite like this. Now, we don't know everything about Jiren's backstory. We don't know how many fights he's been in. We don't know how many times he's actually been pushed to this degree before. This may be the first time. If they said it was, I must have missed it, but I don't think it was. I know Jiren may have had some tough fights before, specifically against that mysterious warrior who, or whatever it was, that killer that killed his parents, but that's a different video for a different day. The topic at hand is Jiren was, you know, pretty much having a meltdown because he didn't believe in Goku's ideology of friendship and trust. He doesn't believe in those things. Jiren in the episode straight up says, you know, who cares about trust? I don't believe in trust. And that's, of course, based on the fact that he had his friends when he was younger betray him. So because he's been sort of traumatized, he's kind of got some PTSD because of the betrayal, he's learned not to trust anybody but himself, which is why he's so powerful. He made himself that strong because he didn't want to have to rely on anybody, right? Which I think is a great little, you know, extra layer to Jiren's character. Some folks have said that Jiren's a boring character, and I can't blame them for saying that, but I feel like they're at least trying now to give us a little bit more of some deeper meanings here with Jiren. But when Jiren did that, when he attacked the stands, people were freaking out saying that, you know, oh, he's not really a good guy, he's really evil, and that's not what happened. I want to clarify it. Now, some people obviously already know what I'm about to say, others may not, so this is mostly for those who don't understand or might be confused about it. So what happened with Jiren is that he pretty much just lost his temper. He tried to attack the stands, not necessarily to hurt Goku or to kill Goku's friends, because killing or hurting Goku's friends is not satisfactory for a character like Jiren. That's not what he wants, and it would accomplish nothing. He already knows that he's more powerful than them. Plus, he also knows that if he kills them, there's a chance he may actually end up being disqualified. I know some people were asking me in my live stream, you know, do you think that Zeno would have deleted him or maybe just disqualified him from the tournament? And it's possible. We've never seen somebody attack the stands. We've seen Frost try to attack from the stands, but not the other way around. But you would assume it'd be against the rules. Now, couple things I want to point out about that scene. Now, first of all, you have to remember the angels and the gods of destruction were also sitting in those bleachers. So, even though Jiren is very powerful, I don't think he has the strength to create power that can rival all those angels, much less even one, if possible. Because I don't think that Jiren has surpassed the power of an angel. I could be wrong on that, but nothing in the series has shown us this. There's no evidence to tell us that he's gotten that strong. So I think what would have ended up happening had Goku not gone in there and blocked it, I think that Whis and them would have been able to deflect the blow. Or maybe even the Grand Priest. I mean, he is the Grande Padre. He is the dad, right? So the Grand Priest may have deflected. So I don't think they were really at risk of having those characters die. That's not why Jiren did it. Jiren was trying to prove a point to Goku. Jiren was trying to tell Goku that your friends and the people who you trust, they can die in an instant. And that everything in life, of course, this is Jiren's mentality, everything in life is about power. If you don't have power, if you don't have power, you're nothing. You don't need people if you have power. Now, obviously, great power does corrupt, and the character that personifies that is Frieza, because obviously Frieza was not inherently born evil like your Majin Buu's, who's a demonic character, or like Demon King Piccolo. Frieza basically was raised into having all this power, and thus became kind of an arrogant, prick. He's an immature kid in a way, power hungry and whatnot, but also afraid to lose that power. When it comes to Jiren, he's using his power for good because he's a pride trooper, he's a superhero. But for a moment there, what happened with him is he lost control of who he was, he lost control of what he stood for. He sort of became primal and animalistic in a way, and that's why he did what he did, and thankfully Goku stepped in to block it. What wound up happening with Jiren, though, is it in a way kind of backfired because he got Goku really pissed off, and Goku, charged him and hit him with some big shots and was ready to put him away. And it's funny because I covered this in my review for the episode, but I actually completely forgot to mention that Jiren tried to attack Goku's friends. I didn't even have it in my notes. Like, I had it, when I saw the episode, I obviously saw what happened, but for some reason in my brain, I just didn't write it down. I don't know why. And thus, when I did my review, it just kind of slipped my mind. So that's why I'm talking about it now. I saw it. It's just that I didn't write it down. So, but it's interesting to me, though, because people were saying that, Jiren's actually secretly evil. And no, that's not what's happening here. Jiren had a momentary lapse of judgment and was trying to prove a point to Goku that they don't matter, that, you don't need them. But to Goku, it's different. He does need his friends. His friends are a motivating factor for him. And even though he's gotten so strong now that he doesn't need them for training partners or anything like that, it doesn't matter. There are more important things in the world than just training. And I know it's hard for some folks to swallow that because this is Goku we're talking about, who only cares about getting stronger. But the reality is, the Dragon Ball fandom has kind of swayed the opinion on Goku because of the constant debates we've had for so many years. Some fans think that Goku is purely a selfish character. Purely selfish. Other ones think he's some kind of superhero in the hope of the universe, and they're actually both right and both wrong. There are layers to Goku's character. Yes, Goku has done very selfish things, but yes, Goku's done very unselfish things. I did a whole video covering Goku's unselfish moments in the past. I'll leave a link to that also at the end of this video. So, Jiren is not an evil guy. That's not what happened here. Jiren kind of lost control and became this sort of monster for a moment to try to prove a point to Goku. For all we know, he may have known that Goku was going to dodge it anyways. I mean, it seems likely he would have done that. He would have known. And he did it just to kind of show Goku that he doesn't need anybody. But, when it comes to Jiren's future and what's going to happen with the character, it's going to be interesting to see whether or not he adopts Goku's philosophy when this thing is all said and done, and whether or not he actually learns to appreciate his friends, because he's even kind of treating the Pride Troopers like they're beneath him too, And again, Jiren's not a bad dude. Based on everything we've seen, he's not a villain, he's not evil. He's an antagonist, but he's not a villain. And what it is that he's a tortured soul who lost his family at a young age, and unlike Goku, whose friends really never betrayed him. When you think about it, Goku's made a lot of friends, but how many have actually really betrayed him? Like, the closest you can really come to is when Vegeta became Majin Vegeta, because that was a very selfish thing on Vegeta's part. But when Goku made friends with guys like Piccolo and Tenshinhan and, all these guys, they never really backstabbed him. So Goku's not really felt that sting of having a close friend or an ally betray you, and Jiren has, and that's why he's like that. Again, very relatable circumstance. Obviously, Jiren's not that much of a relatable character, but the circumstance is very relatable. So I wanted to clarify that here with this quick little discussion video. Jiren is not evil. He just had an animalistic moment. And you know what? It happens. Sometimes we do bad things and we do evil things and we don't mean to. Sometimes you can get mad and maybe you throw, like, you know, your car keys, or you flip your chair over. You know, some of us have anger issues. I've talked about my anger issues in the past myself, so I can relate to this. You know, sometimes you say the wrong thing, or you get mad at somebody and you're a dick to them, you know, and that's what happened with Jiren. He's not inherently evil. He just did something bad. Yes, what he did was bad. I'm not saying it wasn't, but he's not an evil guy. He just had a lapse of judgment. Thank you so much for checking out the discussion. If you have anything to add to it, comment down below, and I look forward to seeing what they do with Jiren in the future of Dragon Ball. Have a great one.